great poet William Butler Yeats, from his Easter 1916 poem, had a great line, "A terrible beauty is born." Today I want to take that line and chat about the beauty of failure. You see, failure is not an end, it is a beginning. It's a learning point. It's a chance to build a bridge to something better. Now, through the annals of time, we have found stories of resilience, perseverance, and indeed triumph. These tales are woven with setbacks and challenges, moments where paths seem almost insurmountable. And yet within each of us and each failure lies the seed for transformation, lies a spark that can ignite growth and self-discovery. Consider this: failure is not an indicator of inadequacy, far from it, but is a call to rise, to seek, and to learn. It is a moment where we pause, when we recalibrate, when we step forward with renewed clarity. It is the quiet teacher that whispers lessons we might not otherwise have encountered. Think of the world of people that have failed, and there are countless numbers of examples, but look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was fired from his company. Seemed like an abject failure. But he didn't lay down his tools and give up. He turned his attention to building better technologies and went on to create a $1 trillion company in perhaps one of the most successful technological companies of this century, Apple. Einstein was often referred to as a slow learner by his teachers. And yet here's a man whose mind was capable of developing the theory of relativity. No easy feat, no easy task. But from a starting point, he was told he would be a failure. But he wasn't a failure. He went on to do magnificent things. Walt Disney was told by his teachers he had no imagination. And so instead of wallowing in self-pity, he pulled up his boots and went on to create the most imaginative company the world has ever seen, Disney Corporation. And J.K. Rowling, told she couldn't write, down on her luck, living in a one-room apartment, started to scribble the first beginnings of the Harry Potter series and went on to explode the world with the imagination and opportunities that come from dreaming through these immense characters and extraordinary imagination. So these are just samples of people who failed in history or told they couldn't do it or couldn't make it. So I'd say these figures should remind us that failure is not the end of the road, it's a fork in the road. It's a chance to turn left or right. It's a chance to build up. It's a chance to dig deeper. It's a chance to look at failure as opportunity, to look at the beauty of failure. I would say in all my years teaching and working in politics as a minister and now in the private sector, one of the key things that I think we should learn or relearn is the art of listening. We have to become better listeners. And that's not easy because we sometimes converse with people and we're not really hearing what they're saying because we're too busy thinking about how we're going to respond. So it takes a conscious effort in discussion and in listening to people to consciously listen, to be a reflective listener, to think through everything. You know, in this ever-changing world, armed with knowledge and empathy and resilience, We really have the power to touch people's lives in a big way, to bring hope, to change the course of someone's journey. And listening is a key part of that. We're called to listen. We've been given magnificent bodies, and yet the least of which we use is our ears. We need to retrain ourselves to use our ears to listen, to reflectively hear what people have to say, and to give it full consideration. So listening is a big challenge. And that listening, I think, if you could teach yourself to do it properly, can really help you during times of failure. Failure allows us to embrace challenges that lie ahead, to open our hearts to unwavering determination. Failures and setbacks will arise, of course, but they're not roadblocks. I see them as stepping stones toward a greater purpose for you. Failure is always a bridge, and therein lies the beauty of failure. Never forget again that every failure is a chance to grow. Every setback is a launch pad upward. So we must embrace them, learn from them, shape our character for the future from them, and become better people because of them. So I'd leave you with this. Don't see failure as a negative. That may sound counterintuitive, but if you reflect on it, it really isn't. See failure as a bridge. See failure as an opportunity. See failure as a growth. See failure as a positive. Be a good listener. Be a reflective listener. Be thoughtful in your commentary upon listening. So, the beauty of failure. A terrible beauty is born, Mr. Yeats tells us. But failure is not an end. It's a beginning, a learning point, and a bridge. And I would say this to you. There's always something to learn, and there's always a hidden message when we fall, or when we stumble, or when we fail. The challenge is, and this is your challenge too, is to go find that message in that failure. And therein lies the beauty of failing.